Good afternoon. This is our tabletop channel number 4.
4TC, number
Indeed.
4.
It's been a really busy August, has it
It's
not?
been a very, very busy August
And
and an extremely busy week in general.
busy week, exactly. So, although we got some brews here, we're actually having a gin.
We've got some a little bit stronger.
Yeah, it's been one of those weeks, and
And it is the end of the day on a Friday.
it is on the end of the day. We're doing this rather later than we would normally, so forgive us. Our brew is a bit different from coffee. And Island gin as well, which is another thing. So yeah, mermaid. I think it's made from freshly squeezed mermaids.
It is freshly squeezed mermaids.
Freshly squeezed mermaids, you see, from the Isle of Wight.
I believe they also do a vodka now as well.
They do many very fine brews. Anyway, what we've been up to. So August, yeah, really busy. For those in Italy, we've done a big trade order for Andrew Perini of Waterloo 1815, which is just been picked up actually. So and that's on his way out to you, and I think he's taken them all to the Milan Wargame Show.
Excellent. I mean, that's certainly been keeping me busy for a lot of August.
Yeah, and July actually as well.
Yeah.
It's been tripping on a fair amount. The other things, of course, have been many new products. It's been 3 weeks since we did this update, and as we said at the start, it's been really busy. So we're both feeling it at the moment. But some new things which are available here. You can see some, and we'll talk about some of them. But a design we completed and have just started to put in production are some new tracks, Andy.
They are indeed. We have, and I know some people have been requesting this for quite some time.
They have, indeed.
We finally have the tracks in a crossroad variant. I've got a couple of moulds of them. I'm producing them now, so hopefully it won't be long before they're on the website and available.
Next Tuesday.
Tuesday,
They'll be on by
excellent.
next Tuesday.
And I won't be here from Wednesday.
No, you're not. So it'll be on by next Tuesday.
We also have some long curved tracks, just to make it slightly different from the short ones we have. We have them in 2 variants. We have, which almost is I want to say a bit, not a 90 degree, but a long 45 degree, do you think, Bill?
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted because our close-up camera stopped on me. I've just restarted it.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that one's down as actually a 45 degree long, so 30 degree long. The other one's a 45 degree.
That's it. I couldn't quite remember which was which.
Yeah.
Like that.
So yeah, you
Just
can see.
Add a little bit of variation.
Yeah, and they're super flexibles. You know, anyone got our track sets will know about them. And then obviously a new cobbled lane as
and
well.
We have a cobbled lane again in a long curve. Can you see that? Just about. Try not to knock the drinks over here.
Yeah, don't knock my gin over.
No. And as Paul said, very flexible.
Yeah, loads of detail as well. It's just standard. It's the standard designs. We just put these curves in, and yes, a certain customer has been asking about these cobbles crossroads for quite some time actually. So thank you for the suggestions. We do listen. It just can take a while to get round to doing such things. So. There you go. Now you're rather busy, aren't you, from Tuesday onwards next week?
I am a bit busy from Tuesday onwards, as is Saturday next week. I'm actually getting married.
Yes.
So, anybody wanting a partisan order for the, I believe it's on the 8th of October next month, because we are in September now.
We're just, yeah.
Please put it in as soon as possible, since I've got a lot to catch up on when I get back from my week off. And I don't want anybody to miss out on their goodies for Partisan.
No, indeed. The stocks are quite low at the moment because we've been busy on other things. So we do appreciate pre-orders for shows. It means we can guarantee you get what you want, as sometimes we only take 2 or 3 of each item to the show. So, yeah, it's important. Especially with the tracks and roads as well, because they're quite new. And although they're coming out now, we've only got limited stocks of those. So I know they're going to be a hit because they've been asked for quite a while. The other things that we've been working on include models. And there's one very exciting one which we're going to save to the end, because I know you get very excited about this. In fact, we only popped it this morning. But some other ones which have come out. So the Ag Panther you can see going around on the revolving table here. That's actually on the store now. That's a design that I've had for a little while, but we finally put it into Supercast. So that's out. The other one, which is this one, is called the Independent. So for those who like interwar vehicles, this really is an absolute beauty. So the turrets, of which there are 5, are in metal. The main gun barrel on the main turret is separate, so you can actually put it at whatever elevation you wish. But the rest of it, that's how it comes. It comes, pretty much in one piece, apart from the turrets. So
wouldn't mind me interjecting just for a second, Paul.
No, please.
I have to say that the detail on both the Jagdpanther with that Zimmerit and all the grills and vents on the back of the Independent, that's really come out nice and crisp.
yeah, I'm really, really chuffed with those. Even the exhaust tips are coming out each time, which is quite a hard thing to do.
It's very hard, especially with that thin resin.
Yeah, so that model was actually ready and been ready to mould up for about a week now. And of course these are the masters from Jan Gisbers, who very kindly allows me to make a wargaming version of many of his models from the interwar and World War II. And the other one actually, these Beckers. So I'll put them on one at a time on this little turntable, so you can kind of get a view, and I'll flick it over to the close-up on the actual video that we broadcast. This Becker is a model that Jan made, and I bought the rights to make this about 3 years ago, before we moved to the island. But it's been quite a busy time, and the passion wasn't always necessarily there to do it, but in recent weeks it has been. And so this body shell, believe it or not, is a one-piece cast. And there's quite a cavity in there. It really was a bit of a test for what was possible, and we both really struggled a little bit. Thought, well, we'll give it a go and see what happens, and it's come out really nice. And it's in 5 versions, so that's the command version. There's a standard troop carrier version, and there's even a new range of miniatures, seated Germans, which are ideal for half tracks, Becker conversions. But anything like trucks, they're in pairs and singles, so they can go in vehicles as well. Quite a nice addition. So this will be offered with a full crew or without. The other one is a mortar version, so it's carrying an 80 millimetre, not 80 centimetre. That'd be a bit big, wouldn't it?
That's a bit of a big boomstick, that'd be.
I told you it's been a long day. Yeah,
Long month.
long month. So yeah, with a couple of additional crewmen in there and lots of ammunition. And the last 2 really, this one is, he's fallen over, I've only stood the figures up in there, is the radio version, or the Funk version, and it's got 6 crew, so 4 new crewmen with separate heads, so you can pose them looking at each other, and that surprisingly makes quite a difference actually when you come to posing figures in vehicles. And again, they're not on bases, so they're designed to go in vehicles. And the last one is an ambulance version, so that completes 5, and my goal is to get those on the web store by next Tuesday latest, at the end of day Tuesday. I'll put a little update on our Facebook page about those as well. The close-up pictures really do them better justice than you can really see here. And as Andy said, the Jagdpanther with the Zimmerit is just, blow me on trumpet, but it's pretty outstanding.
There's some really nice detail that has come out.
Yeah, and that master was made by Steve Cox, so due credit where it's meant to be. So anyway, palette discussions.
One just more thing on the Beckers, because they are cast so fine that the back doors with a sharp knife, you could quite happily cut it down the centre there and open it up. It is really just right for that. Yeah, but especially on the radio version, I did think about, on these doors being cut off, or not cut off, but just as Andy said, very fine slice down that line, which is well defined, and you can just gently peel that back. The beauty of this material is it's really, really crisp and flexible. And unlike other people's resin, you drop these, they won't shatter into a million pieces. They'll bounce, but what you get from using that is really good quality and great detail. So that's why we use it, really. And you're right. I think when I come to make my own version of that Becker, I'm going to do exactly as you said, open the doors with a fine knife and actually have a guy standing there giving orders. Yeah, I think when I come to do it, I'm going to make that little vignette on a nice little base with it open and everything, because it'll just look so nice. I think that's a good idea, mate. Anyway, you've been talking about this palette thing to me, and first time I've seen it. A little palette. I don't know if those of you know about Textured Pallet for when you're dry brushing. Now, it's something I've only learned about recently myself, a couple of months ago. So I made one up out of a load of bits and pieces I had lying around in my bits box, which is rather large. A few bits of rocks and everything else. stuck it together and had a go. When you're normally dry brushing, you're wiping it out with a bit of MDF or an old tissue or something. You take a lot of moisture out of the brush. That leaves you with that dusty, dry look on your model when you're dry brushing. Some people like it. Does look good on certain things, certainly weathered vehicles. However, this makes it look a little bit smoother if you want that little bit cleaner look. So just brush up as normal. That's why I've got a big square there. I can put my paint on it and then do it off. And you can actually see how much is coming off your brush, so you can get exactly what you want without guessing, as you sometimes have to do when you're dry brushing. I mean, if people want, I will, with some of our accessory packs, make something up about half size and have it cast, if there's any interest for it.
We could mould that in resin quite easily. And
couldn't use these because these are not some of our parts, but bits out my Bix box.
yeah, they're not our figures. We don't do it with our figures or our vehicle parts. But yeah, your idea about the dry brushing, yeah, and I've seen some of your paintwork, and it's bloody brilliant. And so, using that to help.
As you can see, large cream emitter from that large road order I did at the beginning of the month.
You did, yes, and use it to dry brush.
Only chance I've had to paint recently, unfortunately.
Yes, indeed. That went to Geordie, by the way. Geordie, that's your painted road sets that you ordered some time ago, and thank you for your patience in waiting for those. We only make those to order, the painted ones, so that's a good, nice tip, mate. I'm going to try that myself. Thank you.
No problem. I'll make one up and you can have one.
Thank you. Well, something that did happen in the time since we last gave you an update was the 80th anniversary of the book over there, Adrian Searle's book, which is about the German Kommando raid that officially never happened. And myself and a few dedicated souls who are following this and doing more research actually went down there in the very early hours of the 16th of August, which was the 80th anniversary. And the moon conditions, by complete coincidence, were exactly the same, i.e. no moon at all. It was a really different experience and actually helped inform us a little more about that site at that time of night, and in those moon conditions. So, for example, there were 7 of us, and moving around, which is normally quite a noisy thing to do at night, especially there was quite a few cow mines that we had to. Someone trod in a very fresh cow mine and ruined their new trainers doing that. But anyway, moving around at night was quite an experience, and of course, for most of that area, you've got the backdrop of the ocean all the time washing against the rocks. So listening for movement, seeing the dead spots in the ground. Really, if a Kommando raid did happen there, they've got all the advantage. So we learned some things from that. There's been some other developments as well, but just a little update over a brew to update you on that. But where are we going in October, Andy?
We are going to Partisan.
Yes.
Our favourite show. It really is.
It is. It's one of our favourites, certainly, and I do enjoy it. We're staying over for an extra day to see some friends up there and hopefully get a game, and certainly enjoy a few beers at the trip.
More than a few beers.
A few beers at the trip in October on the Monday. Now, someone got very excited this week when a master turned up. Hold it up, show people. You have to put it in front of the...
Just about reach around looking into know.
There we go. Yeah, so tell them what it is, Andy, because you've been gagging to tell people.
No, I'm not going to tell them what it is.
Oh, okay.
We're going to have a competition.
Oh, okay. Well, we're having a competition about what it isn't then.
Yeah. Let's see if people can work out what it is.
Well, without the turret. Now, I have to explain. The turret and the gun barrel, which is a 17-pounder gun barrel, bit of a clue, is actually in the mould cooking as we speak. As I said, it's been a long week and it's not over even after this broadcast or after these gins. But
let's put it next to how big it is next to that.
Yeah, we'll put it on the spinner actually. There you go. So
there we go. That'll be a bit easier without me stretching over.
So the kit itself will come in 4 pieces, believe it or not. And the reason why there's 4 is that the turret has a base, and then within the turret there is the barrel, a gun barrel coming in, and then there's like a round accessory. Actually 5 pieces, because then they've got the hull as well. Because then that allows you to elevate the gun barrel as you want. It's a really nice mechanism actually. Let's hope it comes out of the mould as good as it went in. And that's obviously been cast in white metal, hollow as well, because the turret is quite sizable. But we need to tell them what it is, because one of the questions is, what do the first 3 letters of what it's called stand for? So, go on, tell them.
Okay, I'll tell them. For those of you that may have not guessed it yet, we have a TOG.
Mm-hmm.
It is the TOG 2.
Yeah, TOG 2. And I haven't seen him that excited from when the Master arrived. It was finished being built into a one-piece model and made such that we can cast other bits in white metal and able to cast this in one single casting, believe it or not. And you can see underneath. And I've signed it and dated it. So this is the very first casting of TOG 2 that we're producing. The Master is courtesy of my very good Dutch friend Jan Gisbers. And I must also credit the person who drew this originally and actually created the Master. That's Hans. Hans and Jan, thank you very much for allowing us to make a wargaming version of this beautiful model. One that's made him very excited, I have to say. But you can see, hopefully, the detail on it as I'm showing it to the close-up camera. So, what we thought we'd do is actually give the very first model, signed, dated, as you can see, to the first person who comes in with the right pair of answers. And so, little competition. Here's the question. I'll say it. I will say this only once, as some famous person on Hello said. So the questions are: TOG 2, what does TOG stand for? And the second answer I need is, what is the Early War Miniatures product code that's been allocated to it? Now, that's not on the site right now, but I can tell you that this will be put onto the website between now and end of play next Wednesday. If not before, actually, probably most likely before. And there was a bit of a clue earlier mentioned about when it might be. So the first person that emails me on orders@earlywarminiatures.com with the correct 2 answers, I will answer you back and ask for your address, and we will post you, complete with the turret and the gun.
Yep, complete.
Which is still in the mould, so let's hope it works. Otherwise I'm going to look pretty stupid. We'll send you the very, very first TOG 2 that we've made. And of course, these will be available at where are we going in October?
We're going to Partisan.
And just to prove the moulds have been working, this is casting number 2 and number 3 over there.
And I've got number 4 downstairs.
Number 4 downstairs. So we managed to pull 4 molds, 4 castings out of the mould. Again, one piece. Again, I can't stress it enough. That's a one-piece casting with all that detail.
And that mould was only cut this morning.
And I only cut it this morning, so it was cooking last night. I felt like a little boy at Christmas waiting for Santa Claus to arrive because I didn't sleep very well last night. Because I got up early, was up here cutting it at God knows what time, ready for pouring the first resin this morning. But hey, that's what you do when you're excited about something.
We do tend to get a little bit excited when new toys come in, don't we?
Yeah, we do indeed.
Especially ones like this.
So we appreciate we've gone over a little bit from our 15-minute target today. But it's been a long Friday and it's been 3 weeks, and you can see we've been busy boys.
We have.
Busy boys. And we also had a visitor earlier. Actually, there's outside, you can't quite see it now, but I'll show a close-up of it. We had one of the British aircraft carriers going past.
Britannia.
I think he's gone a bit that way now, really, isn't he? He's just a bit round that way.
Yeah, I can't see everything. He's gone behind the trees now.
And for those who didn't see my update, I actually had the pleasure of being on deck of that about the early part of August. I'll put a picture up of me on the flight deck going, and I'm not the new aircraft Arrestor wire that they haven't designed yet, and they've got no room for anyway. But it was a great experience being able to go on the deck of the British aircraft carrier and also the deck underneath as well for a couple of hours. Anyway, enough of me rambling. Thank you very much. Yes, thanks for all your business in August, and for more coming in September. And see anyone who's going to Partisan
on the 8th of October.
On the 8th of October. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Cheers. Thanks, Andy. Cheers.